3. Check.
Should I have to read materials and objectives? No need.
No. Anyway, that goes first. That's the teacher.
Yes.
So first, but you have to understand what the completed project will look like in your mind. You have to know what you want the students to do. So tell us, what do the students have to do in this? They're making a poster. And what is on the poster?
The photos which will contain the caption also.
And so a caption means a sentence, using some adjectives or something.
And they will explain about themselves in that, add some other personality.
Yeah, plus a picture of a famous person and some
explanation.
captions about it. So that's all. A very basic poster. Okay, so what's the order?
Introduce students to project, explain purpose, draw pictures and posters on board. This will take 3 minutes.
Okay, wait.
Students get up.
So that's the beginning. You demonstrate. You give an example. Okay, go on.
Students get out photos of themselves and their pictures of famous people. Students break into groups of 5. This will take 2 minutes. And in large clear letters, students write captions for their photos. Students write about themselves. Example, my name, Tamat, I love skating. And about the famous people, example, her name is Madonna, she is American. This will take for 10 minutes. Students show other members of their group the captions they have written, Group corrects each other in each, and this is for 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, stop. So there, it's real group work because now they're checking each other's work to be sure that the grammar and the vocabulary is correct, right? Okay.
Students make posters, groups stick photos on posters plus captions that they wrote, add titles and decorations, remind them to stick into English. This will take for 5 to 10 minutes. Put posters on walls. Students read other groups' posters for 5 minutes.
Stop. That's like a gallery tour. That's what that is. That's a gallery tour. Yeah, the students have made their posters, and now they go and they look at the other posters. That's all, a gallery tour.
And the last one is discuss completed projects with students, give feedback on posters, appearance, and use of English language. This is for 5 minutes.
They got it? Good. Okay, fine. So this is a model lesson plan, a very simple poster presentation lesson plan. Look at the lesson. Can you divide it into 3 main parts, this lesson? Yeah. What is it?
Explaining
Pre. So what is the pre section? What is the pre? Okay, it's objectives and materials, but it's also the teacher is explaining the task. That's all pre. And then
whatever is being done by the students.
that's the why. The students are working in their groups, and in the post.
Teacher finally corrects.
Yeah, I think the post is the feedback session, the very last step, where the teacher is giving feedback. That's the post. Okay, any doubts about that?
Oh, this can be done.
So you can clip those together, if you will. So there we are. 3:30 post. Here, scaffold. Have you heard this term before? Scaffold. We use this. We use this in pedagogy when we're talking about teaching. A scaffold is like when workers are building a building and they're working on the outside of the building. They build the frame with bamboo, and they stand on the frame to erect the building. That's the scaffold. The workers stand on the scaffold to build the building. You know what I'm talking about? just means you have to give your students the skills and the vocabulary and the grammar they need to do the activity. If I'm asking my students to have a group discussion or do group work, but they don't have any vocabulary, they can't do the group work. So before you do the group work, you have to pre-teach whatever they need for the group work. Maybe in the group work they have to have a discussion about interview tips. So you have to, have some vocabulary on the board, right? And you elicit vocabulary from the students, you write it on the board, you take some phrases that they need, some grammar and phrases. And you put it on the board, and then while the students are doing the group work, they can look at the board if they need help for the vocabulary or the grammar or whatever. Okay? Scaffolding. It's just the tools that the students need to do the activity, or the knowledge they need to do the activity. And then during the lesson, and then post-lesson. For the post-lesson, what have I been doing? Always those posters, right? The wrap-up. That's my post-lesson. I think this is all in your handbook also. Here's another very nice way to think about lesson planning. The PPP model. What is it? Not quite. These are not in order, but these are the 3 P's. Try to put the P's in order. Which is first? What do you think? Which should be the smallest P? I'll think the present is the teacher. The teacher presents the information.
Yeah, present.
That's the presentation. The teacher. Produce is student. Which should be less, which should be more?
Practice should be more.
What?
Present, produce, practice.
You have one more option.
Okay, present.
Reduce, present, practice. Reduce, present,
No, present is one. Present is a smaller
So this, the small P, is the presentation stage. The teacher is giving a lecture. The teacher is presenting new material. Second stage, practice. The students are practicing. So for example, I present present tense verbs, I like, I don't like. Present, I like, I don't like. I like salt, I don't like pepper. So the teacher presents. Now the students have to practice.
practice.
Controlled practice. Maybe they have some sentences or fill in the blank. The last stage, produce, the student should be able to produce something new freely. Present, practice, produce. It's like, you see it in other fields, it's like the apprenticeship technique. So, like a doctor, like if I'm a surgeon, she's a new doctor. She's an intern, an apprentice. So, the first surgery, I do the surgery, she watches. Right? Second operation, we do it together, I help her. The last one, she must do it by herself. Right? Have you got it? The same in a language class, the teacher presents some information, then the students practice. Maybe you have a drill, you can practice, and then you say, now you do it by yourself. Right? Yeah. So it's a very nice way of thinking about how to structure your lessons going from teacher-centered to student-centered. The teacher begins, but at the end, the students should be producing. All right, some final tips. Resources for you. Those are some addresses, some websites from that the U.S. government sponsors. So you can look at those. If you join the American Library in Chennai, then you have access to a huge online database, online resources. But you have to join the library first. And then you can access the online database. Okay, tell me. Today, what did we do? Oh, what's the word?
He's now still is active.
Ideas, second interview.
Next. So we talked about second interview questions, behavioral questions. And then we did the Sarah answer. What does that stand for? And then? You're fading, I know. I think group interviews are last. GDs, group discussions.
What makes a team player? Team player.
Group discussions.
What makes a team player?
Yeah. So we talked about group discussions, and I showed you one group discussion question, survivor. Remember a typical group discussion where you have to solve some problem as a group. And then we did an activity in the newspaper. This group lost. And then?
Last is simple, but next can say.
Oh, that was it here. And last, and we looked at two models of lesson planning. Very quickly, two models. One was the two models of lesson planning. Two models of lesson planning.
Post-lesson plan. And post.
Or okay, fine. All right. Yes, but we have one more activity. Yes, one more. Okay, you see we have the posters here, everything we learned, right? A lot of information. Now we're going to do a quick review called a non-stop talking review. This is similar to the jam. Similar to that. I'll demonstrate. So stand up. So, the rest of you can keep seated, stay seated. We'll demonstrate first. So, this is my group, and somebody in your group must have a second hand. somebody have a second hand to keep track of time? Fine. So set it for 1 minute. And then I will appoint a leader in the group, and the leader, you choose any topic that we talked about. So for instance, group work. My topic is group work. And I choose any person, and I say group work. He must talk non-stop for 1 minute about group work. Now, this is a fluency activity. We don't care how accurate you are. There's one rule in this game. The one rule is that you must not stop talking. That's the only rule. You can say anything you want, but you must not stop talking. If you don't know what to say, you can say, I don't know what to 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 say. Group work, it's a very puzzling activity. I don't know about group work. I don't know anything about group work. For 1 minute, you must not stop. That's the only rule. Have you got it? So one person will choose the topic and choose a speaker. When he finishes, he gets to choose the next topic and the next speaker. So choose a topic. Fine, choose a speaker. So now she has 1 minute to talk about lesson plans. Okay, stop. So you understand how it goes? Okay, you're the leader.
Repeat the task.
Who's the leader? Choose one topic that will This workshop, it's only effective if you go back to your classroom and you try to use some of these. If you just say, well, that was a very nice story, we had a great time, and you go home, then it's from it. Okay, so very quickly, do we have a minute? Yes. By yourself, jot down three things you want to try in your classroom. Three things you want to try. Three things you love. Three things you really like. Three things you want to do. Fine. Yeah.
Blackboard share.
Now, turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor the three things you're going to try. Okay, time's up. All right, let's share. Mr. Tell us one thing you're going to try next week, Mr. Babu Chetty.
I will try group discussions and marking, please.
Fine, very fine, thank you. Dr. G. Sridevi, tell us one thing you're going to try.
I just like to prove and inner outer circle and both it. 3 points of activities in my classroom.
Great. Mr. Nanya.
I would like to practice the self-introduction activities.
Which one?
Self-introduction activities, how we practice.
The inner outer circles? Nice. Do you have a big space?
Yes, we have.
Okay, great. Mr. P. Sadasirao.
Name game to name game inner outer circuit and jam also.
Fine.
Last non-stop.
For the jam activity, he did the main game. He said, my name is Srinivasa Rao and I like, what did you say? Your name is Sridevi, you like sweet singing. Your name is Sridevi, you like swinging. That's what he did for 1 minute. But he did it. He said there was only one rule, you must not stop talking. He did not stop talking for 1 minute. Ravi Prakash. One thing you will try.
I would like to
That's
not circle form because circles needs spaces of large rooms. So we plan to conduct this activity circle lines.
a line.
Lines.
Yeah, line.
Instead of circles.
Yeah, good. Try it. Farida Lakoum. Sure. How often can you try pair work? What do you think?
Work in every class.
You can do it every class. It doesn't take long. Yeah. Great.
Group discussion
Sure.
and introduction as well, and cover activities.
Will you try it? Will you try
So good evening again. The department
146 government degree colleges that are present in the state of Andhra Pradesh. We look into the administration of 146 government degree colleges. As our government is focused on mission mode administration, we have come up with 7 missions. Knowledge mission is one of those 7 missions to transform state of Andhra Pradesh into knowledge hub and education city. So, considering this vision of our Honorable Chief Minister, the students who are working in this Jawahar Knowledge Center should be given training, build their capacity to meet the requirements of job market, presently job market. That is, when we are talking about globalization, digital India, as per our Honorable Prime Minister of India, who is focusing on digitalization. In this start on 3rd of August and it goes on till 5th, and then 3rd batch will come on 6th of August and ends on 8th. So this is how we have planned the program, and I invite George Bishop to give more inputs on the training and his experiences with the working with the lecturers, how it was. So, George, please.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to thank the American Embassy in New Delhi, of course, for sponsoring my visit here, and also thank the Department of Collegiate Education in AP for putting together this wonderful workshop. As ma'am said, we put this together kind of at the last minute. I was supposed to return to Hyderabad, but then there were some logistic problems with me going to Hyderabad, so we brought the program here. And I have to say, they organized it very well. I've been really pleased with how well it's organized here and what great hosts they are here. So thank you very much. Everything's gone off without a hitch. So thank you. And as ma'am said, we're working with just a limited number of English lecturers from all around AP. I think they come from all the districts?
Yes.
So we're bringing some teachers from all the districts here to Tirupati to do this intensive 3-day workshop. And the focus is on employability skills, as she said. I've been giving a lot of workshops for English lecturers and also English teachers, for instance, at Chennai Corporation Schools in Chennai. But here, especially, the focus is on employability skills. The English lecturers are already working in the JKCs. So it seems to be like a natural match that the English lecturers should be with the JKCs, because we all know how important English is to employability. This is often one of the first things that employers look for. Can they speak English? And so in these workshops, we're talking about the importance of good communication skills, interview skills, group discussion skills, all of that. But also how to teach that. How to teach that. Because even if we know what they are, how can we teach that to our students? And so the aim of these workshops is to show the teachers some new techniques to teach these skills to their students. The traditional classroom, you know, we call it the teacher-centered classroom, where the teacher just talks. But especially if the student wants to learn communication skills, they should be practicing the communication skills in the classroom. You can't teach communication skills just by talking about communication skills. You can't teach communication skills by lecturing about communication skills. The only way the students can learn communication skills is by practicing the communication skills in the classroom. So we were looking at ways to make the classroom more active so that the students are practicing these skills in the classroom before they go to the job interview. So that's the focus of the workshop, and if you have any questions about the workshops, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, well, the teachers here that I've worked with, this has been a very enthusiastic first batch. Haven't they? I think they've been a really good first batch. I don't know if you picked them special or what, but they've been a good bunch. So I've been really happy with them. I think at first they were a little skeptical,
Yes.
but then slowly they began to enjoy the workshops, and we had a lot of fun. So I hope all the batches will be as good. Excuse me?
ELF workshop in 2005 లో
Yeah.
జార్జ్ బిషప్ గారు మా లెక్చరర్స్ కి ట్రైన్ చేశారు. ఒక 2005 నుంచి 7 వరకు ఏపీలో ఉంటే 2 years ఇంగ్లీష్ లెక్చరర్స్ కి ట్రైన్. మన స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఫస్ట్ గవర్నమెంట్ టు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇన్ 2005.
Yeah. Commissioner Lakshmi Narayana.
లక్ష్మీనారాయణ గారు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లక్ష్మీనారాయణ.
He brought the program to AP.
ఇది ఫోర్త్ టైం మళ్ళీ సార్ రావడం సెకండ్ టైం. స్టేట్ డివైడ్ అయ్యాక ఫస్ట్ టైం మళ్ళీ ఫస్ట్ టైం. అంటే ఈ బ్యాచ్ చిత్తూరు అంటే రాయలసీమ చిత్తూరు కర్నూలు అనంతపురం కడప. నెక్స్ట్ బ్యాచ్ వచ్చేసి మన కోస్టల్ వాళ్ళు శ్రీకాకుళం విజయనగరం. సెకండ్ బ్యాచ్ వచ్చేసి మన శ్రీకాకుళం విజయనగరం విశాఖపట్నం. థర్డ్ బ్యాచ్ వచ్చేసి గుంటూరు నెల్లూరు ప్రకాశం కృష్ణ. అంటే ఈ ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లిమిటెడ్ నెంబర్ ఇస్తారండి. ఇంటెన్సివ్ ట్రైనింగ్ కదా, ఎక్కువ మందికి ఒకేసారి ట్రైనింగ్ కూడా కుదరదు. అందుకని మేము స్ప్లిట్ చేసి 3 batches లో చేస్తాం.
Yeah, we didn't want to do a very large training because if you have 100 lecturers in one classroom, you can't really learn all these techniques. It's very difficult.
Regular classroom.
And the JK,
Knowledge commission.
Mission.
Knowledge mission. Vision. Knowledge commission.
నాలెడ్జ్ మిషన్స్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ మీద స్టేట్ లో ఉన్న ప్రాబ్లమ్ మీద. సో ఒక ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ స్కిల్స్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ అనేది ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో తీసుకున్నాం. సో
ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేస్తాం. ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ని బ్రీఫ్ చేయండి. 13
అంశాలు. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మాత్రం ఇంగ్లీష్ అంటే మేము ఫర్దర్ గా నాన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ లెక్చరర్స్ కి కూడా ప్లాన్ చేస్తున్నాము. సో ఇంగ్లీష్ లెక్చరర్స్
program will be to the all lecturers who are in all universities and degree colleges. It will be useful to the
Only degree colleges.
అంటే మేము కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేస్తున్నాము. ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ లో మన పిల్లలు ఎట్లా ఫేస్ చేయాలి, ఇంగ్లీష్ బేస్ కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ ఇంగ్లీష్.
We are having lack of communication to the subject is also.
Exactly.
That's why I'm asking.
But also these JKC centers, they're already in place.
Yes, sir, yes.
So I think they really want to take advantage of the JKC centers because it's a great resource already and it's very successful. So they're trying to make it even better by giving the English lecturers more training on how to use the JKC.
Future, what we feel is you have to join all subject lecturers also into your group. That's why I'm asking.
So the next phase will be for
You have to look
non-English.
up to that.
Non-English.
Yes.
It's true. You can use these techniques for any subject, I think.
For that matter.
Yeah.
13 subjects to decide.
Projects.
Projects.
Ah.
Not just
This is a completely job-oriented program to the students. How you are going to learn to the student. This is the main mission of your program.
But I have to say, I am an English teacher. That's my background. So always, this is my specialty, a language teacher, how to teach languages. So I mean, that's one reason also that the focus now is on the English lectures, because I'm an English language specialist. Now that's my job title.
Especially in the rural areas only we like degree colleges, rural children are more compared to. So they're afraid of English language compared to other subjects. So that's why Commissioner is taking more impressed English teachers, because once the English teacher is improved and once the English teacher is efficient enough, automatically even they can have their own they can show that. In JKC, General Knowledge Center is other prestigious programs what has been undertaken by the
everything is in place, the lunches, teachers, everything is perfect.
How do you feel about this?
ప్రెస్ మీట్ లో ఎవరో మాట్లాడేది ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురు మా సమస్యను అభివృద్ధి చేస్తే మీరు రాసుకొని పోవచ్చు ఎదుటి
నుంచి వాళ్ళు ట్రైనింగ్ చేయబడినటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఫీల్ అవుతుందో అది కూడా అడగండి.
ఫస్ట్ 13 ఈపీపీస్ అడుగుతున్నారు, అది చెప్పిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్.
అంటే మనం నాలెడ్జ్ మిషన్లో టార్గెట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. 2022కి ఏం చేయాలి, 2029కి ఏం చేయాలి. తర్వాత ఏపీ అనేది ఆల్ ఇండియాలో నెంబర్ 1 స్టేట్ అవ్వాలని పొజిషన్. దాంట్లో ఫస్ట్ అండ్ ఫోర్మోస్ట్ ఏంటంటే హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్లో గ్రాస్ ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ రేషియో పెంచాలి. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకి యాక్చువల్గా హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటే డిగ్రీ స్థాయి మనకి కేవలం 20% మాత్రమే చదువుతాం కొత్తలో అవుతాం. దాన్ని మనం 2022 కల్లా 30% చేయాలి, 29 కల్లా 50% చేయాలి. 50% అంటే యూనివర్సల్ హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కొంటారా. ఆల్రెడీ మన ప్రైమరీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ యూనివర్సల్ అయిందండి. మాధ్యమిక అనేది ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కోర్స్ కూడా యూనివర్సల్ అవడానికి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ అక్కడేమో 90% దాటితే యూనివర్సల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఉంది అక్కడ ప్రైమరీలో. మన హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్లో 50% దాటితే చాలా యూనివర్సల్ హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఫోకస్ దాని నుంచి ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఎక్స్పెండ్ చేస్తున్నాం బోత్ హారిజాంటల్ అండ్ వర్టికల్ ఎక్స్పెన్షన్. అంటే +2 తర్వాత డ్రాప్ అవుట్స్ ఎక్కడ ఆ డ్రాప్ అవుట్స్ మనం తగ్గించేసి 50% జిఆర్ హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ తీసుకోవడం వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫోకస్ ఏరియా కాన్వర్సేషన్. దానికి అనుబంధంగా ఎందుకని మనం ఎలా చేయగలమంటే ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. చాలామంది ఎందుకు చదవలేదంటే చదివిన తర్వాత కూడా ఉద్యోగాలు రావని ఒక నమ్మకం. సో మనం దాన్ని ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. దానికి ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఇండస్ట్రీ లింకప్ అవుతాం. ఇండస్ట్రీ లింకప్ అనేది కూడా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్లో ఉంటుంది. సో ఇండస్ట్రీ లింకప్ అనేది ఇప్పుడు మీరు అలాగే ఇంగ్లీష్లో మనం ఇస్తున్నాం. అలాగే సబ్జెక్ట్ వైజ్ రేపు సిబిసిఎస్ సిబిసిఎస్ కూడా ఆ సిబిఎస్లో వాయిస్ తీసుకుని ఒక్కొక్క సబ్జెక్ట్లో కూడా స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేస్తాం. అంటే యాక్చువల్గా నాలెడ్జ్ మిషన్ అండ్ స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ మిషన్ అనేది ఒక పార్ట్. దాన్ని 2 డివైడ్ చేస్తారు. ఒక వింగ్ వచ్చేసి స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేస్తుంది, ఒక వింగ్ వచ్చేసి నాలెడ్జ్ డెవలప్ చేస్తుంది. సో నాలెడ్జ్ బేస్ మీద మనం స్కిల్ ఇస్తాం. అప్పుడేమవుతుందంటే అప్లైబిలిటీ పెరుగుతుంది కాబట్టి ఈ స్కిల్ పీపుల్ అంతా కూడా రకరకాల ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ తెచ్చుకోవడం. దీనికి మనం కొన్ని ఆప్షన్స్ పెడుతున్నాం. అంటే గ్యాప్ ఇయర్ ఇంతకుముందు ఏం చేస్తారు కంటిన్యూస్గా చదువుకుంటూ పోతున్నారు కాబట్టి. కానీ మనం ట్రై చేసే ఇండస్ట్రీలో లింకప్ పెట్టుకుని 1 year గ్యాప్ తీసుకోండి, 1 year కానీ 2 years గ్యాప్ తీసుకొచ్చి ఆ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ట్రై చేసి మళ్ళీ చదవచ్చు. అది గ్యాప్ ఇయర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది ఓపెన్ ఈపీ సిబిసిఎస్ అనేది రూల్స్ అంటే మాసివ్ ఓపెన్ ఆన్లైన్ కోర్సెస్. దాన్ని కూడా మనం అంటే అది ఫ్రీగా ఆన్లైన్ కోర్సెస్ చాలా అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నాయి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక ఎస్టీ టీచర్ లేదా ఎస్టీ స్టూడెంట్ వేరే కంప్యూటర్స్లో ఒక సర్టిఫికేట్ తెచ్చుకోవచ్చు. అలా తెచ్చుకోవడం అంటే వాళ్ళు సిబిసిఎస్ అంటే బేసిక్ చాయిసెస్. దాంట్లో ఎక్స్ట్రా క్రెడిట్స్ వస్తాయి. ఎక్స్ట్రా క్రెడిట్స్ వస్తుంది వల్ల ఏంటంటే ఫారిన్ కంట్రీస్లో కూడా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ లేదు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బేసికల్గా మనకి సిబిఎస్లో 120 క్రెడిట్స్ ఇస్తాం. కానీ మూక్స్ ద్వారా కానీ అదర్ స్కిల్ ఆప్షన్స్ ద్వారా కానీ 140 క్రెడిట్స్ ఇస్తుంటే ఈజ్ ఈక్వలెంట్ టు లేదా ఎలిజిబుల్ టు డూ జాబ్స్ ఇన్ ఫారిన్ కంట్రీస్. సో అదొక ఆప్షన్ ఇస్తాం. అలా మనకు మొత్తం 13 ఇంటర్వ్యూ పాయింట్ డిజైన్ చేసి 2022-2023 కంప్లీట్ చేయడం మిషన్ మోడ్లో వర్క్ చేస్తాం. ఇది నాలుగు మిషన్ యొక్క సమస్య. దాంతో పాటు అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫారిన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ కాబట్టి ఇంగ్లీషు మనకు ఒక అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఉంది. అంటే మీరు సింగపూర్, మలేషియా, దుబాయ్ చూసినట్లయితే వాళ్ళకి ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఎంత ప్రవేశం లేదు. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళకి ప్రైమరీ స్టేజ్లో ఇంగ్లీష్ లేదు, వేరే మనకి ప్రైమరీ స్టేజ్ నుంచి కూడా ఇంగ్లీష్ ఉంది. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ లాంగ్వేజ్లో మనకి అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ ఛాన్సెస్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి. సో ఒక టార్గెట్ ఏంటంటే మనం ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే ఒక యావరేజ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో కానీ ఇండియాలో కానీ యావరేజ్ ఏజ్ వచ్చేసి 29 years. అంటే మన గ్రోయింగ్ పాపులేషన్ లేకపోతే మొత్తం వరల్డ్ అంతా కూడా మన దగ్గర నుంచే సప్లై చేయాలి. అంటే మ్యాన్ పవర్ అనేది ఇండియా నుంచి వస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ బేసిక్ డివిడెండ్ అనమాట, పాపులేషన్ డివిడెండ్. దాన్ని బేసిస్ మనం వర్క్ చేస్తాం. డెఫినెట్గా 29కి ఇండియాలో వన్ అవుతుంది. నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇండియాలో వరల్డ్లోనే ఒక ఇంపార్టెంట్ స్టేట్గా మనం అంటానికి అవకాశం. ఈ మిషన్ మోడ్ మీద 4 మిషన్ వర్క్ చేస్తుంది. దాంట్లో కూడా బాంబు వాడుతుంది. అదే actually అలాగే ఇప్పుడు చెప్పింది ఎన్ని కలిపే చెప్తాను.
అన్ని కలిపి
అంటే జిఆర్ అంటే ఒకటి, జిఆర్ అంటే గ్రాస్ ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ రేషియో, అంటే హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఎన్రోల్మెంట్ పెంచాలి. మనం కేవలం 20% మాత్రమే గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్ అవుతున్నారు, ఇప్పుడు 50% దాటించాలి. అది మిగతా
ప్రైమరీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లో మన పర్సెంటేజ్ చూస్తే ఆల్మోస్ట్ 99% సో హైయర్ వచ్చేసరికి 20%.
మెటీరియల్ ఉంది తీసుకోండి, జిరాక్స్ చేసి ఇచ్చేది. జిరాక్స్ చేసి పెట్టుకుంటే తీసుకుంటే ఫోటో కాపీ. పాయింట్స్ ఎన్ని దాంట్లో కవర్ అయిపోయింది. హేమ మరియు మన ఆనంద్ నాయుడు గారు మన కోఆర్డినేటర్స్ ఉన్నారు. విమలా మేడము చాలా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తీసుకొని మన ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీకి ప్రోగ్రామ్ అలాట్ చేసింది. కాబట్టి బిషప్ సార్కి, విమలా మేడంకి, వీళ్ళకందరికీ ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీ తరఫున నా తరఫున కృతజ్ఞతలు చూస్తున్నాను. ఇటువంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఫ్యూచర్లో కూడా మన ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీ చాలా వచ్చేదానికి ఆస్కారం ఉందని మేడం గారు చెప్పారు. కాబట్టి దీనివల్ల స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసింది. దానివల్ల లాంగ్వేజ్ ట్రైనింగ్ కానీ ఇవన్నీ స్టూడెంట్ల ఎంప్లాయబిలిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఆటోమేటిక్గా అందరూ బెనిఫిట్ పొందుతారు. కాబట్టి కంటిన్యూస్గా మంత్లీ 2-3 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇటువంటి ఆర్గనైజ్ చేయాలని చెప్పి మేడం కోరుచున్నాను. ఫండింగ్ వాళ్ళే కదా, ఫండింగ్ ఉంటే మనం చేయగలుగుతాం. ఫండింగ్ లేదు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు ఫండింగ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారు. కాబట్టి కాలేజియేట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్కి నా తరఫున, ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీ తరఫున కృతజ్ఞతలు. మా సిస్టమేటిక్ ఆర్గనైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్ తీసుకున్నా కానీ మనం వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ మనం కండక్ట్ చేసినాము. విత్ ఇన్ 1 డేలో ప్రోగ్రామ్ 100 ఇస్తే చాలా సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా కంప్లీట్ చేసినామని ఆల్ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్స్ కూడా అప్రిషియేట్ చేశారు. కాబట్టి మనం ఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అయినా ఆర్గనైజ్ చేసే కెపాసిటీ ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీ కాబట్టి ఫ్యూచర్లో కూడా ఇటువంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్ని ఎస్వి యూనివర్సిటీ గారిని కల్టివేట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ని రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇంకేమైనా కావాలి
యూనివర్సిటీ లెవెల్లో ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి కాలేజ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు కాలేజెస్, డిగ్రీ కాలేజెస్ వాళ్ళ కోసం చేస్తారు.
జపాన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అది 1 month స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము. లాంగ్వేజ్ లెర్నింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కింద అప్లికేషన్ ద్వారా జపాన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లెర్నింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కానీ ఇటువంటి మళ్ళీ స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్కి అమౌంట్ ఏదో ఆల్రెడీ శాంక్షన్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇంకా ఇంటిమేషన్ రాలేదు మనకి. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్ని కూడా విత్ ఇన్ షార్ట్ పీరియడ్లో మనం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. వ్యవసాయ కింద మనకి అమౌంట్ శాంక్షన్ అయింది స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కింద. అది నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ ఆర్గనైజ్ చేయాలని, అదే ఆగస్ట్, జూలై అయిపోయింది, ఈరోజు లాస్ట్ డేట్ కాబట్టి నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ ఆర్గనైజ్ చేస్తాం.
ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చెప్పండి మేడం. ట్రైనింగ్ మేడం వాళ్ళు ట్రైనింగ్ చేయాలి.
Good evening everyone. This is Dr. Pankaj, working as a lecturer in Government Degree College, Srikalahasti. I am so happy to be a part of this 3-day workshop. And in fact, let me say frankly that in the I got my recruitment, I got my entry into government sector only in the year 2013. So before stepping into government sector, I was with so many false notions that in government sector there wasn't any monitoring, no development at all, and I was rather scared that I am going to lose all my skill after stepping into government sector, because earlier I was with engineering sector. So then, from the day one I stepped into this sector, I am finding a lot of work that has been chalked out by the Commissionerate of Collegiate Education, and we are highly thankful to the Commissionerate, and especially the credit goes to the academic wing, academic cell, which is exclusively monitoring different kinds of activities, not only ELF is a part of that, and efficient lecturers from different colleges have been acted for the academic cell. They have been nominated as members of academic cell. So one such academic dynamic officer is Vimala ma'am, the other one Sir Anil sir. All these people, they are looking after different aspects. So one program that exclusively meant for English language teachers is in ELF programs. See, my career with government sector is only for 2.5 years. In these 2.5 years, I have attended nearly 4 ELF training programs. It's unbelievable that government of collegiate education is investing lots of amount on the development of English lecturers. Why particularly, as you know pretty well, that we are living in a global village. In fact, this is the globalized era, and the students need English language skills. So unless they project themselves with good effective communication skills in English, they can't prove themselves. They can't get or they can't realize the dreams. So that's why only I hope so that Commissionerate of Collegiate Education is focusing more on English lecturer. I don't think that they are neglecting the other wings, but they too are working out the program. As in the inauguration, our academic guidance officer has cleared it out. Like he has announced that they are planning such kind of programs for the non-English teachers too. So, and we are lucky that we are getting efficient trainers like sponsored to us by US Embassy. Like already we were trained by Spencer Salas, and this is almost like a wonderful experience for me working with George Bishop Jr. from the J1. See, by the time we have stepped in here, it was not in order. One thing that I have learned from George Bishop Jr., very first and foremost thing is dignity of labor. He himself has come, entered the room, and he started working along with us in clearing all the benches, you don't believe. And he has, so that was a wonderful thing. So
that's an example how a teacher should be.
We'll be having some dominated mentality, but I didn't notice it anywhere with you. You are so learner friendly, and I think like we are blessed to be a part of this 3-day workshop. We have learned so many activities which we can implement for the effective running of JKC and English classroom. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Mr. George Bishop Jr.
Very well.
So happy. Now,
Sir, yes, sir. You know, it is a technological era where we want, where we have multinational companies here coming over from all over the country, and we have to develop communication skills. You know, most of our students in our college, the government especially, they are from rural sectors, and they are very poor in English. So after learning from him, George Bush, and he developed so passion, persuasion, and patience as a teacher, we too want to develop like that. So for that purpose, he is very much invited. And by this training, we got really benefited. And when we go to our colleges, already we have JKCs. Even in normal classes also, we would like to exploit these techniques. That I would like to say that. For that, really, we are grateful to CCA for sponsoring this program. And we are really happy because certain things, you know, all the time we are in colleges teaching. But now and then we must have some refresher courses. And by that we have to refresh our memories and how we have to teach and how to pronounce. This is most important. Our pronunciation should we have to develop in all companies when we go for interviews. If we pronounce in a different way, they can't understand. That way you see that night time we have to contact with the clients, you know, foreign currency. Only this kind of people can develop this kind of attitude. You know, that is called communicative attitude. So that we have developed it for the past 3 days. Really, our ma'am, the madam really almost gave very good hospitality reception, and we all really grateful to her, and especially our model teacher, George Bishop.
Thank you.
And sir, for helping us, and also of course our staff members, Vishnu, Pankaj, and other staff members, they were all very kind enough to help us in organizing this program outside our hometown, not in Hyderabad, but
Quite only here.
Thank you very much.
You got a very good